Hello, my name is Riska. I will reading a reading task. Fundamental law. Civil law, also termed Roman law, was originally administered in the Roman Empire and codified under Justinian in the 6th century. It includes the law of Persian, the family, inheritance, property, toils, unjust enrichment, and contract, and remedies by which interests falling within these categories are juridically protected. Although actually enforced but drastically changed. Science 533. The first three books of the Institute of Justinian, of person, of things, of obligations, and the major civil codes all deal with substantially the same sets of problem and relationship called civil law. Technically, the civil law includes only the law of person, natural and legal, the family, inheritance, property, and obligation. Civil law is fundamental law. It is studied first, and subsequent study is built on it. No society is able to live in an orderly way without an aggregate of rules governing the relations among the persons who are charged with enforcing their observance. This is a typically traditional approach. Applying this tradition to the state, it is the necessary for an aggregate of norms that regulate the relations among citizens and for organs and institutions that enforce observance of the norms established by the law. The legal norm is a general notion. It is not addressed to specific individuals but to a model fact situation. One difficulty with the model situation is that occasionally the application of the abstract norm to the concrete case gives place to consequences that offend the sense of justice. Equity is the power to vary application of the norms. It's the justice of the concrete individual. The civil law tradition recognizes only statutes enacted by legislative power, administrative regulation, and custom of source of law. There is no systematic hierarchical theory of source of law. Legislation of sorts is a law book, so are other things, including judicial decision. The main division of law is the civil law tradition is into public law and private law. This distinction is fundamental, necessary, and evident. This distinction has a long history. It was actively employed during the process of codification and reform in the 19th century and became basic to the systematic reconstruction of the legal order. The, the codified civil law was at the heart of private law, and the dominant concept of the codes were individual private property and individual freedom of contract. The emphasis of right of property and contract in the codes guaranteed individual right against intrusion by the state. The civil codes were thought of as serving a constitutional function. Any principle of prior law that were incorporated in the codes receive their validity not from their previous existence, but from their incorporation and reenactment in the codified form.